Okay, welcome back. Hope everybody had a good lunch break, whatever meal or time it is for you in your time zone. And we're going to keep moving on with this afternoon's program, starting off with Javier Rivera, Black 2C, modding a classic. So, Javier, take it away.
Great. Thank you very much, everybody. I just wanted to start with a little story about how I did some modifications. So, as you see, I love black Apple IIs, and I've been trying to get as many black Apple IIs as I can. This I was gonna rename this when what happens when you retrowrite too much. But I got my soft spot for other things than Apple IIc, and I first thing I saw a black Apple IIc actually was KansasFest, and this was James Littlejohn, and James had painted an Apple IIc Plus, and I was really impressed because it really looked. The best part of what I like is the logo, and the logo really looks very nice, against black. Unfortunately, his keyboard was white, and I was really unhappy the way it looked like, with a white keyboard. So I went into a long attempt or adventure to convert an Apple IIc to be black. One of the things that I am maybe like everybody else is that I am a purist, so I don't like to destroy things. And one of the first things that I was looking for wasn't a broken 2C. Actually, this 2C was, and I think you cannot see it, it was broken in two parts. This lower part was completely out. So, and also there's a hole over here. So one of the things that I did is I took a very bad um, very damaged Apple IIc to convert. So I really don't like to mess up with things that are in good shape. So that was my first part, and then of course the second part was to find a good paint. And there's some photos. Unfortunately, I don't have them with me right now, but I put them on the group at the beginning. That's the first version that I did, because what I did is I painted. There was three different paints that I used. The first one was very bright, very shiny. So I didn't like it. I had to try to clean it up and repaint it again. The second one was better, and this is the first iteration of this one, and it's a matte, and it really makes it look really nice. The matte version. Another thing that I didn't want to lose was the grainy. So I tried to kind of like do it very light, but if you do it very light, anything you touch it will chip off. Um, and it's another issue with painting a computer that. And also I try another thing. Herbert Funk told me, why don't you use there's a way to submerge plastic in some kind of ink, and it's supposed to paint it. And I tried. I bought one of the black things. I submerged it for a day or two. Nothing. It just came a little bit darker, but really nothing that it was, uh, good enough. So, I mean, paint is what you gotta do with this, as far as I know. And this is the second iteration. So this is the last time, the last thing that I done. And what I did is in the first photo that you can see my Apple IIc, I have to take and cut, print black over white paper, and then cut it out and paste it over here, and then try to blend it. But it looked really fake. And lately, I found a way to get some things printed, and I printed it's gonna be hard to see, but I printed in um, the water transfer paper, and it allows me to do all the keys that are not available here. And that's I'm sorry, I should come back to the keys. So it took me about 3 months, no more, like 6 or 9 months to find the right keys. I was buying keyboards out of eBay, and I was looking at eBay at keyboards, and at the same time, see that they were Alps keys because the keyboard is Alps, the key switches, and also that they had the same font that the Apple IIc has. And that was for me very important. That was exactly the same font. And it is. So it really looks original. It really looks the same as the Apple IIc. Finally, I found I think it's a Mac Alley keyboard, and I bought two or three keyboards that somebody was buying, and with all of them, I could put together a little bit of uh, a real keyboard. The problem is, some of the keys you can see that they have home, and because they were PC keyboards, I suppose. Uh, and of course, I have to paint on top, or sometimes try to take out the old text and replace it with water slides. I think finally they look good. They're not perfect, but they look as good as they're gonna get. Other than send it to a professional place and make them original, like the original 2C did. But so this is what I'm doing. I'm modding it, and as you can see, there's no delete key because I want to do a red delete text over there. So I'm gonna get some red water slide, and that's what I'm gonna do with that. So let's turn it on. I don't want to show how it what it does because it's a normal Apple IIc, but also I did some little mods in here. One of the mods is I put a new LED in here. It's stronger, a lot stronger. And also I put the Plamen LED replacement, so it changes colors when you're reading, writing, and it pulses back and does a lot of cool things. As you can hear, I'm running Alien Downpour. But one of the latest mods that I'm very happy to do, and hopefully you will be able to see it with this light, is I went ahead and I want it to be modern. So can you see this? No, maybe you can't. Let me turn off the light. Can you see that? Not that much, but it's backlit. So I did a backlit keyboard, and it works by clicking on the 8040 key. So I turn it on, turn it off, because the 8040 key is almost never used. So I guess, I say, you know what, I'm gonna use it for something. So I got a backlit keyboard. It's not the most beautiful, but it looks cool though. And this is one of the nice mods that I did for this. I got more things that I want to add over here because I got a big hole over here. There's somebody on the hardware talk that added a switch to change it to black and white and color. So I think I'm going to add that over here. But I wanted to just share the experience that I had. I did an Apple IIc Black Edition, and I wanted to look, as professional or as good as possible. So I don't know. I think I got something nice going on over here. What else I can tell you about this? Well, I think this is the most that I can, but I got one more thing that I want to share with you, and for that I need Joe. Joe, can you join, please?
Hello.
Don't try to do close up in the other screen. Hey, Joe.
Hey,
What
how
do
you
think
doing, Javier?
Good,
So,
good, and you?
I'm doing super well. So, Javier was developing this insanely cool black Apple IIc, and during the process of creating this lighted keyboard, he went through a really, really cool series of steps to make it switched And I believe you used a what did you use to actually create the lighting the lights? You used like an LED string or something like that?
I use an LD stream, exactly.
Okay. And so during that process, he asked me some questions and stuff because I, quote, know electronics, unquote. But whatever. So, I helped him out with that. But then some part during this process, our wonderful friend at Mark Josetis got involved, or at MacFX, Mark Josetis got involved. And the thought came up, Javier came up with the thought, can we make an Apple IIc keyboard that is self-lighted, that you can use, say, your original keycaps, but order a keyboard that is just lit all the time? And I was like, okay, maybe I can do that? I don't know. So we decided to spin a few prototypes. As you can see, we did several. And then we came up with this final prototype PCB that it's hard for you to see, but it has spots for LEDs in it. And here it is, running in an Apple IIc, lighted. It's hard for you to see that.
There you go. I can see it.
There you are. So that's kind of what we did there. I'm not sure what the long-term plan is to actually make that as a production, because a prototype is one thing. Building one, it takes me several hours to build that one. But building it en masse for the entire community is a completely different animal. So hopefully at some point, Mark will be able to, through his MacFX thing, be able to do a Kickstarter or something. I'm not sure. He's not present right now, unfortunately, to make any specific plans or anything like that. It's kind of his thing. But hopefully at some point down the road, we could have these things out there for people to be like, hey, yeah, I can do a lighted keyboard. So that's cool. Translucent keys and keycaps, yes. The actual key switches that we used here are translucent. So on my version, it kind of appears up through the keys really easily. A couple little things that are hard for me to show on video. It's hard to get, it's almost impossible to get these Alps key switches for caps lock 8040 into the keyboard that are the dual throw type, where they click down and click up. So we had to create, it's hard to see right here, I actually had to design a circuit of flip-flops and inverters with key bounce and all that, so you could tap the cap lock key, but it would hold it on. So we did that, and then as we designed that, we figured, well, why don't we put a light underneath that, so that when the caps lock is on, you can see the caps lock light glow red, for example, or the 8040 glows red, or the keyboard light glows green, and they do that. It's really hard for you to see on camera here, but yeah. So when your Apple III or when your Apple IIc is up and running, you actually know if keycaps is on or not. So that's the kind of a little last minute thing we added as a feature to that, to make it feature complete within the limitations of the bits and pieces we were able to do. So, I mean, we've got to give the Apple II the love it deserves, and the Apple IIc deserves love. And when Javier said, Joe, can you do it? I'm like, yes, I will figure out a way to do it. So yeah, that's my part of the piece.
Yeah, that's the announcement. Hopefully we'll have an new Apple IIc keyboard, Alps keys, and also has backlit. So that's something that people has also asked for. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to have the keys themselves, but at least you will be able to replace. Oh, tell them about your adapter.
Which adapter? What adapter? The adapter?
For the keyboard. So if they have an old keyboard, Apple IIc keyboard.
Yes. Oh, hold on. Hang on. Keep talking.
You see, guys,
I'll go dig it out.
I got to be telling this guy. In the meantime, I'm going to give you guys a quick peek of something else I'm working on.
No, I can't find it. That's fine. The show must go on. So, long story short, during this process, we came to the conclusion that there are going to be a lot of folks who have the older style keys the older crappy, I don't know what they're called, the spring keys that aren't the really nice Alps keys, but the keycaps between the two are not compatible. The hairspring, thank you, Herb. It's like the little weird spiral springy keycaps. They're the worst. Here they are. I found them. They were on my bench the entire time. These dumb things right here, they are just the worst thing. And the keycaps are not compatible with the key switches. So if you wanted to save some money and upgrade your keyboard to the newer one, but use your original keycaps, so you didn't have to buy $100 worth of keycaps or however much they're going to cost. You can't do that. So I designed a little, it's floating around on my bench here somewhere. I designed a little 3D printed adapter bit that would allow you to use your original hairspring keycaps on the Alps keys. And it does work. They sit up just a tiny bit higher, but it's just a little 3D printed thing you do. And if we were to make them en masse somehow with molded plastic, it would be a lot easier to just make 1 billion of those little adapters for folks to adapt their original hairspring keycaps to the new key switches without having to go through the huge expense and process that Mark has gone through several times trying to get keycaps printed for Apple IIs. So,
and the good thing is that people don't like that old keyboard. They could buy the new keyboard with the backlit, with adapters, and they can use their keys, and they can have a new experience with better keyboard and better experience with Alps. So win-win situation.
Even better on the backlit keyboard design. I did design it so that it can the backlit can be enabled or disabled when manufactured. So if somebody wanted to buy one that was not backlit, the same thing will do it. We just don't put LEDs on it, and we break the trace, and it just doesn't do it. So it's pretty cool.
So that's the thing about the modification. So we like to do a lot of mods, and we're always thinking about what can we do to make it nicer, cooler, new functionality. And just like this little thing that I was showing a little bit ago, Mark's new transparent or clear case, it didn't come with a front. Well, I'm designing a front that is also clear. So hopefully we'll also have something, but it's hard. It's not that easy. But hey, those are little things that we like to do, and that's the one more thing. So, any questions? Do we have time?
Yeah, we have time. We have quite a few. We have a number of questions.
Okay.
Did you have to replace any parts by 3D printing in black?
No. Everything is different a keyboard and painting. That's it.
We have a couple people asking for the link for the water transfer paper that you used. So maybe you can put that in the Discord. Sure.
The thing that I forgot to mention is that Mark Wise from Australia, he hooked me up with a black round
feet.
The feet. Thank you very much. Because I didn't know where to get them, and he got a bunch, and he gave me some. So
okay. Next question: was painting the vents hard? How did you get consistent color without getting clumpy?
Several, test until you get it nice, and then you test it in another place, and then when you got it right, that's when you want to paint the original one. I always do that with everything. I try to test somewhere else, and then when I finally got it, I do it over here, and it's still not beautiful, but.
So you tested it on other broken Apple IIcs or what?
Or just plastic, not even Apples. Any plastic computer, yeah.
How about color addressable LEDs? Smiley face.
Now that was something Javier wanted to do, but I stopped that as feature creep. The features just kept adding and adding as we were developing it, and we're like, we need to stop so we can actually get it announced by KFest. I would love to do addressable LEDs and do some sort of thing where it's like somehow connects to the 2C memory bus, so you can like
put an
change
Arduino
the colors
inside
or something.
The
but
2C.
What's that?
The small one. You can put a smaller Arduino inside the Apple IIc, actually.
Yeah.
and then address it from the processor.
Do it similar to the way my NeoPixel project did, or something like that. Yeah, yeah. Possible. Well, it's the Apple II. Literally anything is possible with an Apple II. It's a question of time and resources. So,
so will you have an adapter for the caps lock key for that version of the keyboard?
I'm not sure what you mean by that. I saw that question. If you're saying like to make the caps lock key so that it like turns caps lock on and off, the keyboard has electronics to do that. I'm not sure. Is that what he means, Javier? I don't know.
No,
I'm not sure. I'm reading it out of the Zoom.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think what they mean is that the caps lock switch itself, it's very difficult to get anymore. You know, the original.
Yeah,
And
that's what Herb
your
said.
solution
And so,
it's a caps lock that is electronic.
Yeah, so Herb, the caps lock key actually controls a 74LS73 flip-flop. And it's got a debounce on it. So when you tap caps lock, it'll either pull the caps lock line high or low, and then also activates an LED under the key so you can tell if it's on or off or not. So it's basically it's a momentary push button switch, just like the rest of the keys, but we use electronics to emulate that clickiness. The key switch from the Hairspin key switch is different than the others. Yes, but this keyboard uses all Alps keys, and so if you're going to use the caps lock, it's not about the key switch. The key switch has already been figured out. It's more of a factor of if you're using the keycaps from the hairpin switches, then you're going to want to use the little 3D printed adapter just to make sure the keycap fits on the switch. I think that's what it is. So,
next question: any of this work with the 2C Plus?
No, because the keyboards are slightly different.
Yeah.
Airbrush or spray paint?
I don't have a lot of resources for that. Yeah, I would love to use that. What I call it for the cars. The spray.
So you just use like radar spray paint in a can?
Yeah, I'm poor.
Do you have to heat dry it so it's not sticky afterwards?
Yeah. No. It's never sticky. It's all good. What I have to do is I have to put some protectant over the transfers so they don't fall.
How many coats does it take?
Like 4. But it looks beautiful and it feels beautiful.
Is there a clear coat on it, or is it to protect the paint job?
There's a clear coat on top of this, and there's a clear coat on top of the keys, because these things will eventually move if I don't put a coat. Like control, this is not original. Escape is not original. Tab is not original, and caps lock is not original, and of course the apples are not. So I have to put something so they don't. When I touch them, they don't get loose.
How long have you been modding hardware, Javier?
About 3 or 4 years.
Okay. Somebody said you've ramped up quite a way from your first projects.
Yeah, well, I have like, forks on my projects. I do retrowrite, then I do these little things, crazy things. Then you were talking about joysticks. I do my joystick modding. Oh, where's my joystick? The joystick that goes with this. This is a CH Mac 3 black. Forgot about this one. I did this some time ago. And it's the same thing. It's painted with the buttons, black buttons, and gray. So I think it doesn't look that bad. And it works, of course. And it was a PC one, and I just modify it to be Mac. Apple.
That gray and black together, chef's kiss. Perfect.
Isn't it? Yeah, I should change this gray to this one. It's better.
How come I don't see a boatload of these 2Cs for sales on the 8-bit Tees and JCM1 sites? Is there a secret handshake I need first?
Well, that's a really good
Vendor
question.
Fair 2022?
Yeah, it's coming up in the future. Again, like I said, this is a collaboration between me and Javier and Mark Josedas of MacFX. He has the resources that we don't have to build these things en masse, get it funded, and make it happen. Unfortunately, he's not available to be here at the moment. So at some point in the future, we'll collaborate with him to have some sort of community announcement when that happens. And especially with the pandemic and production in China and shipping being crazy and all of that stuff too, it's going to be out some ways before we'll be able to see them. But I have no doubt that at some point it will make its debut, and we will make a lot of Apple IIc owners really happy.
Delete's going to be red. That's why there's no delete right now.
Let me see. I think I saw something scroll by. How about some NeoPixels controlled by the 2C?
That's my mind over there.
Yep, it's totally doable. With an Arduino Nano or something hidden up underneath the keyboard, and a combination of doing some sort of funky adapter to connect under the MMU or something to latch into the Apple II address bus. That's the problem with the Apple IIc is you got to find some way to talk to the Arduino to control the NeoPixels, and in the 2C there's just not. It's not like you have a game port or slots or something. You have to make an adapter board. There's a lot of extra engineering there, but like I said, with the Apple II, anything is possible. We'll figure it out one way or another.
When is Joe just going to make his own Apple II?
Soon. Maybe, I don't know.
That's a very evil laugh. Should we be afraid? Should we be afraid?
No. Although I do have some Apple III/Apple II combination plans coming up at some point in the future. So watch my YouTube channel. Things are coming.
No delete decal on the delete key?
Yep. It's going to be red.
Oh, okay.
And actually, you don't need to delete an Apple II. You're always good.
You never make typos, ever, never in your life.
Ever, never.
Okay, good. You can type for me anytime. I'm looking. We have a lot of shut up and take my money. A couple people have posted the Fry meme, shut up and take my money. You definitely have you definitely have a following out here. All right.
It's nice. It's beautiful.
Any final thoughts?
Javier, you just need to ramp up your automatic paint booth production, have people ship in the Apple IIs, and you can send them back black ones.
And convert them to black. Once you go black, that's it.
Okay, it took you half an hour to get to that joke.
But I had to. All right, guys. All right. Well, anything else?
Any other last minute questions? Now you got to. Never another retrobrite. Are you giving up retrobriting?
Never, ever, ever.
You're going to do both ends of the same.
Yep. Failed projects, convert to black.
There you go.
Thank you very much, everybody.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you both very much. It was an amazing presentation. If anybody has any additional questions, you can pop over to Discord. It's the channel is Black 2C. My computer would stop scrolling when I don't want it to.